Hey guys, welcome. So in this video I'm going to be showing how to basically manipulate the ash chest for all versions of the game. In particular, for this one I'm going to be using version 1.1, and I'll show you how to do a bunch of these manipulations to get what items you want. So fortunately I have a file prepared that has all the setup done. So basically the setup that you want to do before you can start doing this glitch with the memory manipulation and stuff is you need to get Gerudo's card. You also need to become swordless, like I am right now. You can see the B button up there is blank. And you also need the ability to shoot arrows. And furthermore, you need some way to dismount Epona while swordless, preferably Ocarina or Kojiro, and you have to set up everything so that you would normally trigger the ash chest. So that means you either need to RBA Kojiro or you have to do the archery game without a quiver. So RBAing Kojiro is probably the best way to go about doing this. So now, with all the setup, and of course you need Epona as well, as you will soon see, I have Epona. So while swordless and on Epona like this, you can press Ocarina or a trade item like Kojiro to activate the remote control Epona glitch, which you'll see, and we're going to use that at a specific point in the archery game to basically mess around with stuff. So you'll see it. So now with this you need to win the archery game the first time, and because you're swordless you don't have the bow on B, so your bow needs to be equipped to one of your C buttons. In this case I have it equipped on C left. So yeah, that's pretty easy. Okay, now this is where the real stuff begins. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of all this, I should mention what you would normally get from Ash Chest. So on some versions of the game, when you open the Ash Chest, you get Spooky Mask. So that would be like versions 1.0, 1.2, and VC, for example. On version 1.1, which is the current version I'm playing on, when you open the ash chest, you will get fire arrows. And then on some other versions of the game, like the IQ versions, for example, opening ash chest will give you a 30 bomb drop that you can only get once. So that's something important. So I'm going to bring up a little thing here. So this is what I call the base index of the ash chest. So I'll show you this little spreadsheet that I made up. Not that. This. Okay, so as you can see, I have versions here. So version, you can see pretty clearly what this is. This base index is a hexadecimal number. That corresponds to this get item table over here, basically. So what this is saying is, on these versions, when you do the ash chest, normally you get Spooky Mask. Then on these versions, when you do ash chest, you get Fire Arrow. Then on these versions, you get a 30 bomb drop. And notice that I have this sort of C mark there, like the C in brackets. So that means I have a key here. It means it has a chest animation. And I'll explain that in a little bit. So now we'll go over to the get item index, or the get item table over here, which lists these following numbers. So these are all hexadecimal numbers from 8 up to F8. And this is what mzxrules discovered, is that you can do memory manipulations to get any one of these 8 items over here. And notice that these 8 items, they appear twice. So like for example, you see 30 stick upgrade here and then 30 stick upgrade again here. And then similarly you see like fire arrow here and fire arrow down here, and you can see that there's sort of a mirrored pattern going on. Or I guess a palindromic pattern. The reason for this is you notice that the last 8 in this list all have a chest animation. And the reason why they have chest animations is because those correspond to negative values. So like, for example, F8 is the same thing as -8 in hexadecimal. So it's basically -8, so it means you get hookshot, but because it's a negative, you get the chest animation, and it's the same sort of thing for all the other ones. I also have third sword here, meaning either Giant's Knife or Big Goron Sword, depending on whether the flag for Big Goron Sword is set. And currently the only known way to do that is to get Big Goron Sword legit from the trading sequence and whatnot. So that's a thing. And then I have here what kinds of items are useful. So mainly these ones are useless because you kind of need them anyway if you were doing this. But I'm going to show all the manipulations regardless. So now that that's out of the way, now we can actually get into how we manipulate this archery game. So I'll put that away for now. So now what we want to do is we want to talk to the guard like before. And then we say, yes, we want to play the game. But now, immediately when the game starts, we want to press Ocarina or Kojiro or whatever to dismount Epona like this. And then what you do is you move kind of over here, you pull out bow while targeting, and then you shoot this target for 1,500 points. Or more, of course. And now what you want to do is you want to get over here and you want to leave this area reasonably quickly. So I like to backwalk here. And make sure that you don't press A when you're in this section either, because you'll just get back on Epona. So you enter this loading zone. And what this process does is it stores the state of the archery game being completed, so that when you walk back up there and you talk to the Gerudo guard, she will give you a prize. And you can manipulate what kind of prize that you get. So one way to manipulate the prize is to do with these 6 crates down here. So I'm just gonna pull up a crate map, and when I say a crate map, these crates I've all labeled according to their sequence and where they appear in memory. So what mzxrules discovered is wherever you load the Gerudo actor that gives you like the prize, that basically manipulates what the prize is. So one way to manipulate where we load the actor in memory is to destroy 2 of these crates, but we need to destroy 2 of them so that they're next to each other in memory. So I'll pull up a crate map in a second. Oops. Yeah, so this is... What is this? Okay. That's not the crate map. This is the crate map. Okay, so for this crate map, I've labeled the crates with 1, 2, 3, and 4 according to their sequence in memory. So the crate with 1 appears first in memory, and the crate marked 6 appears last. So I'll just walk to all the crates here. So this is crate 1 right here, crate 2, crate 3, crate 4, crate 5, crate 6. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna destroy a couple of these crates. And to make this more convenient, I'm just gonna trigger it so that it gives me a chest item so that I can redo the archery game without restarting, basically. So let's say we destroy crates 3 and 4. Well, not 3 and 4 actually. They might be different crates. Just want to check my table here. Okay. I shouldn't destroy crates 3 and 4. So instead I want to destroy crates 4 and 5. So this one, and then this one, according to the crate map. So now what I do is, without doing anything else, now I just head up back to the archery area and talk to the Gerudo, which I will do automatically when approaching the Gerudo. So I've just triggered Ash Chest, and now you can clearly see my A button says open, so let's open it. Note that I'm on version 1.1. We have Spooky Mask, what? How do we get Spooky Mask on 1.1? Well, that's exactly the manipulation that we do. I believe there's also another manipulation as well, but I'll show that later. So now, because I've triggered an item with a chest animation, I can just go down here and reload the area, and I can play the game again for another prize. So let's just do that. And this time I will do a different manipulation entirely. So it's the same sort of story here. Pull Ocarina when the game starts. Go over here, shoot the target. And then we leave. And then come back out, and now I'm going to do a different manipulation. So this time I'm going to also do another crate manipulation, maybe. And this time, I want to trigger a chest animation so that I can do this again. Okay, that one will work. So now I have to destroy crates 5 and 6. So just as a reminder, crates 5 and 6. This one's crate 5, this one is crate 6. So we destroy these two, and then we head back up. We don't do anything else. And you should notice that I will get a different item this time. So we open the Ash Chest. And we get Golden Scale. 'Cause, you know, why not? So that's another manipulation that you can do with the crates. So Spooky Mask and Golden Scale on 1.1. There are, of course, a ton more manipulations you can do. So I'll show a couple more that have to do with triggering chest animation items. Enter this loading zone here. Come back out. Okay, now we're gonna do a slightly different manipulation. So this time we won't destroy any of the crates, but instead, what we'll do is we'll go to this spot, and I have a visual cue for this. You see this dark spot right here? This is the cue. It's a bit past the Gerudo sign above here and kind of in the middle. So this is the dark spot that I use for the rest of the manipulations that don't have to do with crates. So what we want to do next is I have a couple here. So one of the manipulations I have written down is drop a bug and 2 bombs. So let's try that. So I'm going to drop 2 bombs first, and then the bugs. And then immediately you want to backwalk so that you unload this area. And you can tell that it unloaded because the Gerudo that was right down there disappeared. So what happens is we trigger another item. So let's see what we get now. We get a recovery heart from the chest. Now we have infinite health. Just kidding, this isn't actually that useful at all. So this is one of the more useless manipulations you can do. Basically, the reason why we trigger the chest animation items is because we don't want to set the state of the game being completed, like the 1500 point prize being won. So doing the chest animation items just keeps that state unset so that you can keep playing the game again for more prizes. Okay, so this one's a little bit weirder, so I'm gonna go up to this spot again. So I'm gonna turn left. This was like one of the more recent manipulations I found. But what we want to do this time is we want to drop 2 bombs again, but this time we want to shoot an arrow as well. And then quickly side hop this way. So this might give us something different, so let's just see. So we know we have a chest animation, so let's see what we get out of this. We just got 30 bombs, so now we can have infinite bombs. Again, this one isn't too useful either. Because of obvious reasons, this is not really a good way to farm bombs. So this time, instead of destroying like crates 4 and 5 and 5 and 6, this time we're gonna try destroying a different set of crates. So keep in mind my inventory. I purposely did this. I duped over hookshot intentionally, and you'll see why soon enough. So let's see what we do here. I don't have this one memorized, obviously. So for this one, we destroy crates 3 and 4. So remember that 3 and 4 is this crate and this crate. So we destroy these 2 and then head back up. And then let's just see what happens. This should not give us a chest animation. Okay, so that was weird. It looks like we got a drop of something, but nothing came above Link's head. Interesting. So let's check our pause screen. Oh, look at this. We have hookshot now. So doing that manipulation will give you hookshot without a chest animation. Again, hookshot is not that useful because it's really easy to get under normal circumstances. Okay, so now we're back here. So I also have this table for item manipulations that you can do. So according to this table, let's try I don't know, let's try dropping a fish. So let's go back over to that spot that I mentioned earlier. So like that dark spot in the middle, like this little spot. And let's drop a fish here. And then backwalk. You need to be careful to not go too far or else you mess up the memory manipulation. So I dropped a fish. So now let's see what we get. We have the giant's knife. What? Well, anyway, this is the third sword that I was talking about, so this will either be giant's knife or big Goron sword, depending on whether you've completed the quest or not. And of course, I'm accidentally opening the chest a second time. So dropping a fish is a pretty easy manipulation that you can do. So I'm gonna reload the area now. And the reason why you have to be careful to not travel too far is you reload this upper area a little prematurely and you mess around with the memory. So you get different items than what you would expect. I have that a bit well documented in the document that I have on this. Okay, so now what kind of manipulation do we want to do next? So, another one of the items we can get, I think it's the last item that I haven't shown yet. So we can get hookshot with a chest animation, and we can also get a 30 Deku stick upgrade with a chest animation as well. So I'll show those. So first I'll show the hookshot version. So with this one, again, you want to go to the spot. So roughly here. And then you want to equip chews, and you just drop a chew and backwalk. So if I open this chest, now we have the hookshot again. So for this one, what you want to do this time is the easiest way to do this. There are a couple really easy ways, but one way is to go back to the spot again and drop a bomb and bugs. That's probably one of the easier ways. There's also a way to do it without using bugs as well, which I will show in the document later, but I'm just going to show this method. So we go here, drop bomb and bugs, and then we backwalk. So we have a chest. Let's see what's in the chest. We have 30 Deku sticks. Nice. I suppose this manipulation could be useful if you were doing... like if you were doing a bingo and you had something around the lines of 30 Deku sticks and... I don't know, a bullet bag goal or something. This could be useful then, but given all the setup that you need to do for this, I'm not sure. Either way, it's still cool, so... So the other manipulations that you can do are for items, but without the chest animation. And the only problem with the following manipulations is that they permanently set the state of this game to be completed, so you can't win any more prizes. It's kind of weird, I know, but that's the way it is. So for this next manipulation, we're going to go back to the crates. So, and This time, I believe we have to destroy... Well, we can do multiple combinations here, but I think if we destroy crates 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, we get items. So let's just take a look at what happens. So I'm gonna damage myself intentionally, just to show you the effect of this. So let's just damage buffer a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna destroy these 2 crates. So remember, this is crate 1 that I just destroyed, and this one's crate 2. So we destroy these 2. And then we go back up, and the lag is insane because I'm on N64, but whatever. So now let's see what item we get from this guard. Watch my health, by the way. Okay, it looks like we got a recovery heart. Again, not that useful. But anyway, we're gonna destroy crates 2 and 3. So just as a reminder yet again, according to the crate map that you guys saw earlier, this is crate 2, and then this one here is crate 3. So I'm standing right in front of crate 3, and then this one's crate 2. So I need to destroy these 2 crates. And this should give us yet a different item. So now we'll just head back up and see what we get. We got Giant's Knife again, this time without a chest animation. Okay, now I'm back. Back down here with the state of the archery game stored as completed. So this time for this manipulation, it's really easy. We just walk all the way back up, don't do anything, and that's it. And we should get a different item. So let's see what we get out of this. Spooky Mask with no chest animation. On 1.1, by the way. So that's basically all the manipulations I'm gonna show. There are a few more, but they give items without chest animations still. So I guess I'll show you guys this document that I prepared to do with like why all this eventually works out. So I'll show you my Excel spreadsheet again. There it is. So the important thing is this base index. So this is the item that you would normally get without all these memory manipulations. And then I basically figured out that each kind of manipulation that you do, basically, it does, you could think, an operation to this base index. Except for destroying crates, that's sort of a weird thing where this actor just loads into the space created by destroying the crates in the memory. So here's the list of manipulations that I used, and these will be the theoretical results for every manipulation on each of the different kinds of versions that we see. So I've tested basically all of these on JP 1.0, which is this whole column, so I know this is correct. And then I've also tested all of them in this column, which is the 1.1 column. And then this column I haven't tested, but according to how the memory works and stuff like that, it should be the same as the other 2 columns, or like this still should be correct. So if someone could verify that, that would be good. But basically, here's the sort of idea with this table. So this means manipulations in Lower Gerudo's Fortress. That's after storing the state of the game and then coming back out from Thieves' Hideout, basically, out of that loading zone. So like for this one, so what this one is drop bugs and 2 bombs. So that one gives you, as we saw, oh my god, that gives us recovery heart. How about if we look at something like, okay, this one's a bit weird, that one's not as good. Okay, this one's interesting. So drop fish or reload Lower Gerudo's Fortress and drop bugs. So I didn't mention this manipulation, but what you can do with the area basically is after you come out of Thieves' Hideout, you can go load the upper area, then come back to the lower area, and then do a manipulation in the lower area. I don't completely understand the manipulations after you reload Lower Gerudo's Fortress, but this is what you do if you reload Lower Gerudo's Fortress and drop bugs. You get the third sword with a chest animation on 1.1, and then theoretically in the other versions you would get Spooky Mask with no chest animation and 30 bombs. Okay, so and then this one's kind of similar. It's another manipulation with that. So this is like the crates 4 and 5, which I showed. It gives Spooky Mask on 1.1. And this is how you get Fire Arrow with a chest animation on these versions. Like, relatively easily. So drop 1 shoe. This one's pretty okay. I showed that one earlier. This one's actually not too useful. So this one I just showed, which was go back up, just load the area, and then talk to the Gerudo. So a curious thing is on, like, in the base values and stuff, the base indices for these items that you get. Like the normal ass chest item you get on 1.0 is Spooky Mask, and the normal ass chest item you get on 1.1 is Fire Arrow. But using this manipulation, you notice that they're switched, but now there's no chest animation. So that's actually kind of cool, believe it or not. And then this one's destroy crates 2 and 3 only. That gives us Giant's Knife or Big One Sword. And that's how we get Spooky Mask on these versions, theoretically. I'm not sure if it works, but as I haven't tested it, but it should work. And basically the idea with these manipulations is they do an operation on the memory. We basically add these values to the base index of the item. So, like, for example, so I'll use this one as an example. So the value we add is 40, and we should get Spooky Mask on 1.1. So if we go back up here, our base value is A8, which corresponds to Fire Arrow with a chest animation. So if we add 40 to this in hex, we get E8. And if we look here in this table, E8 corresponds to Spooky Mask with a chest animation. And similarly, this also works on 1.0. So if we do E8, which is the 1.0 base item, and then we add 40, which corresponds to the manipulation of destroying crates 4 and 5, then what we get in hex is we get, let's see, we get 128. But the problem is that the index of the item is a single byte, so it only the last 2 digits matter in that, after that addition. So we end up getting 28, And that's exactly the third sword. And similarly, if you were to follow this pattern, and this is just conjecture, but if you were to follow this pattern for, like, IQ, for example, you would get fire arrow, because 6-8 plus 4-0 in hex is A8, and A8 corresponds exactly to fire arrow. So that's really cool. So there are some other manipulations too. That's just basically how this table works and where these values came from. So a curious thing as well that I found is that certain items take up a certain amount of memory, and it's fixed. And sometimes other items, when you drop them, they initially take up a large amount of memory, but then the next items that you drop of the same type don't take up any more memory. It's a little bit weird, but I'll show that. And then here are like the other values. So these are the 15 manipulations you can do that are relatively easy. Okay, so this is the sort of key thing here. So I have these actions, and then the value added to the base index. Again, this is hexadecimal. So this may not be completely accurate, especially for the chews, because I'm not completely sure how they work, like if you reload Lower Gerudo Fortress and stuff. But basically, what I know for sure is bombs always add 3-0 to the base index, like if you drop a bomb, and that's for every bomb you drop, up to 3 bombs. And then similarly, shooting an arrow also increases the base index by 2-0. So by using different combinations of dropping bombs and shooting arrows, you can also come up with manipulations like this. So like for example, like the basic manipulation is returning to Upper Gerudo Fortress only, and this adds 7-0. So if we instead, before we go back to Upper Gerudo Fortress, like this archery area, if we instead drop a bomb just before we load this area, so in theory that should give us 7-0 plus 3-0 added on to the base index. So that will give us A0, right? And look here. That corresponds exactly to drop 1 bomb, which I figured out. Similarly, if we drop 2 bombs, so we add another 3-0, so dropping 2 bombs would put us here, like so. And then dropping 3 actually just gives us the original item back, so that's not too interesting. Okay, then arrows are interesting as well. So I have something for... So this manipulation to add F0 to the base index, this one took me quite a long time to find. Like to find a very effective manipulation. This is the easiest thing that I could come up with. Okay, so basically we start off with 7-0. We drop 2 bombs, so we add 3-0 twice, or we add 6-0, so that will put us at D0. And then we shoot an arrow, so shooting an arrow corresponds to adding 2-0, which will put us here. And that's how we do that manipulation. So hopefully you guys found this video cool. I know this ass chest manipulation stuff is a little bit disappointing, and it's probably not practical for bingos, at least not for the most part, unless you want to get Spooky Mask on 1.1, but you probably shouldn't do that in a bingo anyways. I think this might be useful for puzzle races, however, and it's very cool to see like how the memory manipulation works out and things like that. So as a final reminder, I'll show the crate map again. this was the crate map. Got that. This. So that's how you label the crates, basically. So hopefully this video was quite instructive, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.